while you were watching something else yesterday. Corbin Burnes in Sedona red. How does it look? Well, they were wearing the alt-black jerseys with the teal cap. And Corbin Burnes looked pretty good yesterday in a Cactus League opener.
They ought to consider that teal. That teal's nice.
Yeah, I'm not a teal guy, man.
Okay.
It looks like
you don't have a feel for the teal?
I do not. It just looks like the mid-'90s Marlins to me, late '90s Marlins. Anyway, Corbin Burnes, pretty good yesterday in a spring tune-up. You know what you're getting with him, right? And the Diamondbacks know what they're getting with him. This is very different from bringing in Eduardo Rodriguez. This is very different than bringing in Madison Bumgarner, who was already kind of advanced in his career at that point. This is a guy who is in the middle of his prime years.
Yeah.
Is what the Diamondbacks have done this winter, and they've made some significant moves, including Burnes, is it enough to be a postseason team, A? Is it enough to maybe make it interesting with the Dodgers? B, two questions for you.
They're going to make it the postseason.
Okay.
Interesting with the Dodgers, yeah, but the lineup isn't compared to the Dodgers. I think you take two or three of the pitchers that can match up pretty good. And I think Jordan Montgomery's going to have a big comeback.
I would agree with that.
You know,
I would agree with that. Look, they scored a lot of runs last year. Here are the numbers. Here are the projections. Pacoda has the Diamondbacks a good 15, 16 wins behind the Dodgers. We get it. And the division odds on the far right, according to FanDuel, would imply that Vegas doesn't want anybody backing the Dodgers because they feel that good about them. If you're laying minus 650 to win 100, you're a fool. Don't do it. You know, speaking from experience. Thank you, LA Kings, last night. But, you know, this isn't a surprise to anybody. And I do agree with you on probably the better conversation.
I think they've moved up the ladder.
That's that the Diamondbacks are a postseason team. Could they beat the Dodgers in a 5-game series? Of course.
They did it already.
Anything can happen. And they've done it. They've done it already.
And that's what you want to look at. You know, can you, and I said this about the Texas Rangers when they went on that run. And I was like, look, they can beat you in 2 out of 3. And I said that all year long, and then they end up winning a World Series. I didn't expect them to totally do that. Mm-hmm. But that's how I look at baseball. We play series, right? You play 2 out of 3. And if you have the pitching that can match up, that can win a 2 out of 3, and then you advance the playoffs 3 out of 5, 4 out of 7s. But every weekend, we play 2, you win 2 out of 3. That's what Tony La Russa used to always do. Win the series, win the series, win the series. Is that really a question? And if you do that, hey, you got a shot. And the Diamondbacks have the pitching to do that.
That's right. Let's talk about another team.
What was that? I missed that.
That's a Tony bite.
I mean, is that really a question?
It's just Tony being persnickety to an interviewer.
Is that really a question?
Is that really a question? How about the Atlanta Braves in the NL East?
I mean, is that really a question?
Yeah, they're good. They're good, Tony. And here's a highlight. Matt Olson getting his swerve on. Jurickson Profar, one of their shiny new toys, scoring in front of the homer in the spring. And let me ask you specifically about Olson. Mm-hmm. Second half, much better. We talked a lot about the weird swing adjustments that he made coming off a franchise home run record-setting season the previous year. And then for whatever reason went back into the lab and tinkered with his swing. Do you expect more consistency from Olson in 2025?
I hope so. I hope he learned something. It's not that easy. And whoever decided and talked him into changing his swing, come on. You build on that. You don't go back and go, I think I can really, what's it going to hit, 100? I mean, he's going to hit 100 homers?
Yeah.
Let's just stay consistent with that. So hopefully he got through that, and he's back to kind of himself again. Well, it's a big sign, though. It really is that he's hitting home runs in spring training.
And consistency is what the Braves are after. I mean, injuries really beat him up last year.
What's the key to keeping guys healthy?
Keep them on the field, first of all. I mean, a lot of this stuff is...
Take the blood, spin it.
Spin the blood. I mean, when they lost Strider early in the season and then Acuna in May, everybody thought that all hope was lost. They ended up still having a good year. Losing Austin Riley at the end of the season may have been the difference in a longer postseason run. But you're talking about superstar players here that they were without.
They're on most people's all-star list in the National League. And if they come back and they're healthy, that's got to be the best lineup in the National League. In the National League East, I should say.
Who do you install as the favorite? Before we take a look at the coach.
I still got Phillies.
All right, here we go. The Pacoda rankings say that the Braves are 8 wins better than the Phillies, which is
I don't see it.
unbelievable. Yeah, I mean, you could get a pretty decent number on the Phillies there at plus 180 if you like them to win the division. And the Mets, they've got the Mets as a second-place team, which I find interesting. I still feel like it's some combination of Phillies, Braves. It's like a Quinella box, and the Mets are third best in the division. But, you know, this is why we play 160.
Yeah, the Mets are getting a lot of run. Is that because of Soto? Or is it because of...
I would imagine.
Who else did they sign? They brought their pitching back, basically.
Minaya. But
I mean, look, from last year's roster, what's different? Soto, right?
Yeah.
It's basically...
Look, Montes is not going to be able to start opening day. He's not going to be on the roster, right? 6 to 8. We don't know about Minaya's status.
He's out.
He might not be available for opening day.
Yeah.
So I think there's some mortality there. There's some flaws with the Mets.
And this is the division you can't fall behind. You fall back, it's going to be hard to make up that ground because every team in that division can beat you. You know, obviously I'm talking about the Marlins and the Nationals. You're going to beat up on those two.
Right.
But still, they have a pitcher. Like the Marlins have 3 pitchers that can beat you. And you know, 1-0, 2-0 game. Anybody can do that in the big leagues.
Yeah. Speaking of 1-0, 2-0 games, you have to have strong pitching. And as we talk about some of the chalk in baseball, the Astros are still the chalk in the American
video
League
game
West.
right there.
Framber looked good yesterday in what might or might not be his final season as an Astro, famously a free agent at season's end, getting a lot of ground balls as per usual. And Framber was pretty good yesterday, as he was all of last year. I think we got kind of lost as to what kind of season he put together because the Astros had an abbreviated run. We always just assumed they're going to play in the ALCS.
Yeah.
Right? We just kind of chalk him in there. He is the de facto ace of the staff now. No Justin Verlander. They've changed their face a little bit. Here are some of the changes that they've made. They do have some starting pitching that's on the injury list. Lance McCullers coming back after missing a year. Luis Garcia, Christian Javier, and J.P. France also a little dinged up. But, man, Hunter Brown made great strides last year, and they have made some additions. Most of it on the offensive side. Which column do you like better, though? Do you like the left or the right, just from a talent standpoint?
Well, you lost a lot of talent.
Yeah, you have to like the right.
I mean, come on, you lost Tucker, Bregman, Presley, Verlander. I mean, Kikuchi had a good year for you.
He was good for them after the trade.
You know, Jason Hayward came over and did some things for you, but yeah, I mean, the right is. You lost a lot.
Yeah. Are they the favorites for you, or are the Rangers favorites in the division?
I'm going Rangers. I feel like the Rangers might be the team to beat.
Okay.
Although I've said the team at the bottom, I've picked to win it. That's my Minnesota Twins, worst to first.
That's firm.
I'm sticking
with 91 Twins. You think the A's can win the division?
I'm staying with the A's. I've been saying it since the midsummer last year.
Yeah. Well, it's a bunch of kids in Oakland. It's going to really take me a long time to stop saying that, man. We're talking about 57 years.
You can't say soaking either, like Sacramento.
Yeah.
So
we're just going to say with the A's.
With the A's.
With the A's. One last Astros note. Julio Morales sent this up on social media yesterday. Jose Altuve's glove. He's also told me he's officially an outfielder because he gave his infield glove to a kid. So he's using former teammate Marwin Gonzalez's outfield glove. Marwin played everybody everywhere in his run as an Astro. And that's what Jose is going to be using out there in left field. It's official.
It's official. I was watching Framber with the ground balls, and I was looking at who was playing second there and the pivot and everything else. I think Jose's going to be... He'll be good. He's going to have some trying times. The ball that you can't practice, and the only way he's going to be able to do this is in batting practice, and even then you don't get that slice, is that ball from the lefty that hooks to the corner into left field. You know what I mean? That one that fades on you?
Yeah.
You can't practice it, and that's the one everybody looks ugly on.
I love this list. I love the way you guys are thinking in there today. Komiata and O'Malley, that's a good one, man. Shorter left fielders. I mean, we've seen short second basemen, certainly, right? Brian
Hack
Greenbeck.
Wilson was that small?
Hack Wilson was a little dude.
Holy
And I would
smokes.
say, without going back this far, can you think of a more recent
Well,
vintage
you want to
shorty?
throw Yogi on this list? He went out there with the Yankees.
He played left?
Left field. Yes, he did.
How about Louis Polonia?
Louis Polonia.
Louis was a little
Louis
guy.
Drake.
And he had a glove that was the size of a
It
Cessna.
was.
Huge glove. Right?
We gotta bring that back for the young viewers out there.